We're back. Hey, queens. Yeah, you know who you are. God, come on. Go ahead and put that crown on your head. Now tilt a little to the left. Now a little to the right. Perfect. Now let's get to work. Because we know you got big goals. And you got big dreams and not afraid to let them know. Why? Because you step into your purpose. You speak out on your faith. And you shift up in your journey. Because you a boss. Welcome to the podcast, Drop the Inspiring Act with your host, Belly of QueenBayGoals.com. Reminding you that you are a queen before anything else. It's your life and your goals. Make it royal. All right, y'all. Go ahead and work that crown. Hey, Queen Bays. Welcome to a new season of the Drop the Inspiring Act podcast. Ooh, I have missed you guys and have missed saying that. But we're going to get back to business in March. So welcome back. This is a new season of the podcast. If you guys missed the last two seasons, go back and listen to all the episodes. So, last season we talked about dropping it like it's hot. We dropped imposter syndrome. We dropped inaction. We dropped perfect for purpose. We dropped chance for choice, like all the good stuff in the fall season. And in our spring season last year, we talked about all the actions and habits that are going to get you going from, the point where you are in your life to starting to show up and living as the queen that you were meant to be. So all good stuff if you have not listened to our previous seasons. So this season, as always, comes with a new theme. And this season's theme is... Now, if you've been on our Instagram or social media, you've seen it already. But for those of you that are not following us, well, first of all, why aren't you following us? So go over and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. And there is a new page for the podcast called DTAA, or Drop the Inspiring Act Podcast, spelled completely out. I just started a new page, so make sure you're following it. The new page is not caught up yet to the podcast, but it will be. So there'll be like a flood of posts until we're caught up with this new season, because I have to go back and add like all the episodes. But the new season of the podcast, the theme is, drum roll please, don't give two F's. Don't give two F's. And it's not a curse word. I'm not cursing. No. I'm saying don't give two F's. And the F's are fair and failure. Because I realize that those are topics that we need to talk about. Because a lot of times the reason that we aren't living in the space that we should be is because we have some fear that's holding us back. The other reason why we're not living in the space that we should be is because something happened where along the way we ran into a failure. And I have my air quotes up as I'm saying failure. We failed at something and we just stopped. And we allowed that failure to keep us in the same place. So this season I'm talking to you all about fear and failure. Don't give two F's, because we're going to stop giving two F's and giving into fear and failure. And I have guests that are going to come on that's going to share their stories about the fears that were holding them back and how they got through those fears to get to the place where they are today. And then I'm going to have some more guests that are talking about their stories of failure, or what they thought was failure, but the lessons that they learned from that experience that allowed them to grow the businesses that they have today, to write the books that they have today, to learn how to love themselves more today than they did previously. All right, so we're going to be talking about people who had failed marriages, people who had failed businesses, people who had failed launches, because everything in life isn't perfect. At some point, all of us fail at something, but the only reason why it stays a failure is if we don't move forward. So this season, that's what I want you to do. I want you to move forward beyond the fear. Move forward beyond the failure. Just move forward, because we all can start living in and stepping into the queens that we are meant to be. All right, so I won't hold you up too long in this first episode. Just know all great stuff, all good things coming in the new season. Now, I will mention that there is a bit of a change. Book reviews are no longer going to come at the end of the month. So book reviews will be bonus episodes when I'm finished reading like a specific book. Because if you notice in the last season, I think in the last month, I didn't get to do a book review. And it was because the book that I was reading for you guys was straight up trash. Like everybody recommended this book, and then I start reading it. I'm like, nope, this isn't the one. And I have a tendency where if I start reading a book, even if it sucks, I have to finish reading it because I just want to know maybe it's going to get better throughout the book. It didn't get better. So this season, I'm not going to commit to, being done with book reviews by the end of the month. But when I am done with book reviews and I want to share with you, it'll just be a bonus episode versus planning it into the podcast schedule. So that's the only change for the new season. Everything else is still the same. The first half of the season is going to be all the talks about fear. And then the second half of the season is all going to be about failure. And some stories may have a little bit of both. Some stories are the fear of failure. And then some stories are the fear of being a failure. I think one of our guests talks about that. So from March to June, you're going to get back-to-back episodes of all these stories about fears and failures. And we're not going to give 2 F's about it, right? We're not going to give 2 F's about it. So make sure that you tune in all season long. And if you are still with me and you have come to the end of this premiere episode, I have a surprise. So today, even though it's a premiere or the preview weekend, the podcast officially starts on March 3rd. There's going to be a bonus episode. So look out for a bonus episode. You've probably already seen it on the podcast link, so just listen to that next. If you have not seen it yet, before the day is through, there will be a bonus episode out there for you guys to listen to. No, wait, I'm not done yet because we always have to do the quote of the podcast because I told you things aren't changing. So we have the quote of the podcast, and this one doesn't get a twist because I love it the way that it is. And I got this from a group that I'm in for the business that I have, that I do for my 9 to 5. My own business that I do as my 9 to 5, I guess you would say. All right, so here's the quote. May I have the courage to live the life that I would love, to postpone my dream no longer, but do at last what I came here for, and waste my heart on fear no more. By John O. Donahue. So because we're starting on fear, I just love that quote, and it just falls in line. So that's what we're going to go with. So I'll see you guys, or I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. You have been listening to another episode of Drop the Aspiring Act. If you're looking for more information on this podcast and other episodes, please visit queenbaegoals.com. That's QueenBaeGoals.com. All right, y'all. I'll see you in the next podcast.